Bonjour et bienvenue to Chicken, Lobster, and Cannonballs, the podcast where we dive into the juicy history behind iconic dishes. And today we take you to a battlefield in Italy where a chicken, an emperor, and a chef made history together. Yes, we're talking about Chicken Marengo. It's June 14th, 1800. Napoleon Bonaparte has just won the Battle of Marengo against the Austrians. A narrow victory, but a victory nonetheless. Now you might be thinking, what does this have to do with food? Well, even emperors get hungry after a day full of cannon fire. Napoleon turns to his chef, one Louis Alexander Dunin, and says, "Mon ami, I am as hungry as a horse that just rode the entire Tour de France. Whip up something delicious." Now you should know, this Dunin was no ordinary chef. He was a sort of culinary MacGyver, a master of improvisation. Handy when your office is a battlefield. Dunin looks around desperately. A 3-star kitchen it is not. But necessity is the mother of invention, and an empty stomach breeds ingenuity. He sends soldiers out to forage. Soon, the motley crew returns, a few chickens, some shrimp, eggs, and even crayfish. Oh, and a bottle of cognac, because no French meal is complete without a splash of alcohol. Dunin gets to work like a madman. He talks to himself while cooking, a habit that earned him the nickname the Singing Chef. "Ah, little chicken, don't worry, you're going down in history." He hums as he fries the chicken in olive oil. He deglazes with that cognac, a sip for the pond, a sip for the chef. After all, it was a stressful day, and adds tomatoes and garlic. Et voila, Chicken Marengo is born. Napoleon was reportedly so impressed that he exclaimed, "C'est magnifique, this is a victory meal." From that moment on, he demanded Chicken Marengo after every battle. A bit superstitious, our little big general. Now you might think, nice story, but is it true? Well, as the famous French gastronome Jean-Antoine Brillat-Savarin once said, the discovery of a new dish contributes more to human happiness than the discovery of a new star. And let's be honest, a good story makes any dish taste better. The recipe for Chicken Marengo has undergone some changes over the years. The crayfish disappeared, fried eggs and croutons were added. Even the famous chef Auguste Escoffier made his own version. He said, "Good cuisine is the foundation of true happiness." Well, Dunin knew all about that, because his culinary skills earned him a promotion. Napoleon appointed him as his personal maître d'hôtel. Not bad for someone who started as that chef who always sings. The beauty of Chicken Marengo is that it shows how great culinary ingenuity can arise from sheer necessity. Tell that to your guests if you accidentally forget the main ingredient of your dish. Oh, this is just my pork Wellington. A tribute to Dunin. Napoleon also ate his poulet Marengo during the campaign to Russia. Maybe Dunin should have made a big pot of borscht instead. Things might have turned out differently. But as Julia Child once said, in the kitchen, you have to have a what-the-hell attitude, and Dunin certainly did. Whatever the case, Chicken Marengo has earned its place in history and on our plates. It's a dish that reminds us that even in the most unlikely places, with the most unlikely ingredients, culinary magic can happen. So next time you eat Chicken Marengo, think of Dunin, who on a dusty battlefield managed to impress an emperor with nothing more than a pan, some creativity, and a healthy dose of survival instinct. And remember, behind every great dish is a hungry man, or a resourceful chef who isn't afraid to improvise. This was Chicken, Lobster, and Cannonballs. Next week, we'll dive into the history of another iconic dish. Until then, don't let your food get cold.